friends, welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm cracking up right now at myself because I feel like all of my videos lately start out in a vehicle. And honestly, I'm not on the go all that much, although I probably have been more so here during the holidays. But today I've got some errands to run out and get done. I did kind of put them off to the last minute, but I want to go ahead and make ahead some appetizers for this weekend. It's New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, so I want to get some appetizers made. We're also celebrating Christmas tomorrow with my family and my brother's family, so I need to get some things prepped for that. But first, I've got to run some errands. I've got some things to take back. 'Tis the season for that too, right? And also, I've got to get some gas because my gas light just came on as soon as I started recording, and there's some trash that needs to be taken off, all the things. I'm hoping maybe to get some more after Christmas sales. I am gonna head to Aldi today. I've got to head to Sam's to take something back, so I'm gonna check those places. I might gather up enough strength and courage to hit Walmart today. We'll see. And I think there was one more place I was gonna run and check, maybe Lowe's. I would like to get some Christmas lights. That's still something that I really want to go ahead and buy those when they're on sale. So we'll see. I might be a little late to the game, but we'll try and I'll let you know what I find. All right, it's later in the afternoon, but I am back home. I just got back home from running all my errands. I did end up meeting Tim for lunch, so that took me a little bit longer than I anticipated. But I just want to let you know that I did find the Christmas lights. I found my clear Christmas lights, a strand of 100, and I was able to get them for $1.98. So I'm happy about that. That was a win. And then I picked up some other little odds and ends, and I headed to Aldi and just got a few things that we needed to get us through this weekend. I know you see my Christmas, I still have my Christmas decorations up. I'll get to that this weekend also. But right now, I need to get these appetizers going so I can go ahead and get them made ahead and get our dinner made for tonight. We're just going to, I'm gonna show you this appetizer recipe, and then we're gonna use part of that for our dinner tonight. And then I'm gonna make some chicken and bacon quesadillas and just probably some sweet potato fries or some tater tots in our air fryer. So that is going to be dinner tonight. Whenever I run errands for the day or go to the grocery store, I always make it a simple dinner. I did not get a rotisserie chicken at Sam's Club like I do sometimes, but we did have some chicken left over that I'm gonna use for our quesadillas. So I'm gonna get the groceries put away, and then I'll start on those appetizers. Okay, I did want to clarify one thing. I said that I met Tim for lunch and it took longer than I anticipated. I didn't mean that I was ungrateful for being able to meet him at lunch. I don't want to come across like that, because that's actually a real treat. He doesn't typically get a lunch break. Normally he has meetings every day during lunch, so to be able to meet him for lunch was really nice. So that was a happy distraction. All right, now we're gonna start on our Chex Mix, or our Chex snack mix. I'll get it out right. But I probably shouldn't call it Chex Mix, because we're going to use the knockoff Chex cereal for our mix. I picked these up at Aldi and probably at a fraction of the price, but they don't carry Chex. So these are rice squares and corn squares, but they're gonna work just as well. We're gonna make this in our slow cooker, and it has to cook on low for about 3 hours, and you stir it every 45 minutes. So that is what I'm gonna get started on first. Then we're also going to make a cheese ball. That's something we can make ahead. We are going to make some pizza rolls tonight, because we're gonna have some of those for dinner. I thought I would just make enough to show you how to make those. We're gonna have them tonight for dinner. And then there's something else I was gonna do. What else is it? That might be it. That might be all I'm gonna show you, because there are some other appetizers that we're gonna have for New Year's Eve, but I can't really prep them ahead. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get our cereal into the slow cooker. All right, 9 cups Chex cereal, any combination it says of corn, rice, and wheat. So this is corn, so I'm doing 4 cups of corn. All right, now I'm going to do about 4 cups of the rice squares. I guess I should call them that instead of the Chex. And now we just need another cup. So I'm going to add in, I think I'll go a cup of the corn with that. So that's 9 cups total. All right, next we're going to add 2 cups of tiny pretzels. These are just the mini pretzel twist. Pick those up at Aldi as well. We need 1.5 cups of cheese crackers. Now it calls for 1.5 cups of mixed nuts, but instead of buying the canister of mixed nuts, I just decided that we would use what we had. So we're going to do half of cashews. So that's about 3/4 of a cup of cashews. And then we're going to do about a cup of peanuts to complete our mixed nuts. Now this is all of our dry ingredients. We're just going to get this mixed together the best that we can. All right, so now we're going to work on our wet ingredients. In a small bowl, we need to whisk together our butter, which we've melted. This is 1/2 cup of butter, or that's a stick of butter that we melted in the microwave. To this, we're going to add 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire, is that how y'all say it? Mixed in. Now we're going to add in 3 teaspoons of seasoning salt. Now I'm using this that I picked up at Aldi. Sometimes we have our own seasoning salt that Tim makes up. He does a lot of cooking in the smoker, and sometimes he has some made up, but he did not this time. So I went ahead and picked this up at Aldi because we were running a little bit low on paprika, and I couldn't make any myself. So that's 3 teaspoons. Then we need 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. We're going to get all this mixed together. All right, now we're back over to the slow cooker. We're going to take our mixture and we're just going to drizzle this over all of our dry ingredients. And then the best we can, we are going to gently toss this mixture together. Now, part of me wonders, I'm just following the directions, but part of me thinks that this will be a little bit easier if we had done all this in a bowl and then transferred it to the slow cooker. But we'll see. This does save us some dishes, and maybe as it heats up, you know, we are going to stir it every 45 minutes, so it will melt all down in there. And I'm sure that by the end of this, we'll have it all mixed together. I have never made this in the slow cooker, but I thought it sounded like a good idea. And I was trying to get some things made ahead. We won't actually be enjoying this until New Year's Eve. Well, I say that. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to put this in some sort of container, seal it up, and hide it somewhere to make it for the next couple of days, because we love snack mix. Snack mix is one of my favorite things in the summer to take with us to the pool. It's not something we normally have in the winter, so we're going to give this a try. All right, I'm going to leave it there. We're going to go ahead and get our lid on, and we're going to turn our slow cooker on low. Now I'm going to go ahead and prepare our meal for my family tonight. Now we're just having something really simple. We're having some chicken bacon quesadillas. And what I'm doing is I'm using some leftover rotisserie chicken that we had in the fridge. I'm just adding a little bit of bacon to that. And then instead of having shredded cheese, I had some provolone cheese that I thought would just be easy. So I put a piece of provolone on each one, and then I just brush this with a little bit of olive oil on each side. And I'm using a smaller flour tortilla for this. I think this might be the 6 or 7 inch. But all I do after that is just, I've got a little griddle. You see it back there on the stove. And I will just toast them until the cheese melts on each side. and then slice them to triangles. And it's something that's quick, it's easy, the kids love it, and it's a lot less cleanup than most meals. And now I'm going to prepare another simple recipe. These are pizza roll-ups, and I'm only going to make 8 of them tonight, and we're just going to have them alongside those quesadillas. But I wanted to go ahead and show you how to make this appetizer in case you would like to include it in your New Year's Eve. So right now I'm just opening a can of crescent rolls. Now normally I would at least double this recipe, possibly triple it, depending on the number of people you will be serving. So the first thing you're going to want to do is separate your crescent roll dough into 8 triangles. All right, now that we have our crescent dough rolled out, if you will, we just have it in our triangles. All right, so I'm going to get 3 pepperonis on each of these. It's going to be 8 of us for New Year's Eve. I would probably do maybe 3 crescent rolls. So like this times 3. Because they reheat pretty well, and you won't have any problem getting rid of leftovers if you have any leftover. Trying to multitask tonight. We've got our stove heating up in the background. We've got our griddle. It's just a stovetop, like flat griddle that I use to toast our quesadillas. So that's heating up. So I'm going to pause for a second and get this started. All right, we've got our quesadillas going on the stovetop, and now it's time for us to go ahead and do our first stirring of our Chex Mix. It's been 45 minutes. Oh yeah, it's starting to definitely heat up. So we're just going to gently just get this tossed together. And I think the main thing for us to do is try to get it off the bottom. Try to stir it on the bottom because you don't want it to burn. And I think that is where you would have the main part. The main burning would be on the bottom. So take a second. I know I'm bumping the camera. Take a second to get that stirred up really well. All right, we're gonna keep an eye on what we've got going on over here. We've got our Chex Mix has been stirred. So now I'm gonna slide our pepperoni and our crescents to the side because we are going to now cut some mozzarella sticks in half, and that's what we're going to use as cheese. And we're only gonna need 4 of these since we're gonna cut them in half, and I'm only making 8 tonight just to show you how we do this. And just remember that all the recipes will be linked down below for you or typed out in the description box. It's always these little jobs, like opening things, unpeeling things, that takes the most time when you're kind of in a hurry, which I am, because I do want to get dinner going for everyone. And then I do still need to make cheese ball. All right, let me check these. I'm gonna use this side to place my quesadillas as they are coming off the stove here. All right, we're gonna get these sliced in half. And now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna place your cheese stick right on top of your pepperonis, and you're just gonna roll that up, and you wanna tuck your seam underneath. I just like to tuck the ends of mine. They look like little bow ties. So you can see how easy this is to do. It would make a very easy appetizer. All right, now the best part of this whole thing is the garlic butter glaze that you're going to brush on top. So I'm gonna take a second to put that together. Melted our 4 tablespoons of butter in the microwave. Now I am going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm just eyeballing that. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Now I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And we're gonna get all of this mixed together. And then we're just gonna brush this over our pepperoni rolls there, pizza rolls. Pizza roll-ups is what the recipe calls them. So I guess that's what we'll call them too, pizza roll-ups. This is still kind of warm from where we had it in the microwave. All right, so I'm going to protect my hand there, and we're just going to brush this over the top. I have had these with this glaze and I've had them without, and I can tell you that the glaze just does something to them. It really makes them so much more delicious. So if you've never tried them with this glaze, definitely give this recipe a try, and you'll have to let me know what you think. Well, also, we can use like pizza sauce or marinara sauce, even ranch if that's what you prefer, to dip these in. Same thing with the quesadillas. You could dip them in ranch. You could do sour cream, salsa. And I just realized this recipe actually is doubled, so that was way more glaze than we needed. So we can save this until I use it again. We'll try that. All right, we're gonna get this into our preheated 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes or until they're golden brown. Our Chex Mix for the second time at the 45-minute interval, and it was really starting to stick and there were some burn pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get it onto our parchment lined baking sheet, and we will just pull out the pieces that are burned. Like there's one there. I was just concerned that it would continue to get worse. So in my slow cooker, it only needs to go for probably about 1.5 hours. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think I prefer the old-fashioned method of doing this in the oven. There's so much background noise. Tim and the kids are downstairs playing a game that Alex got for Christmas, and they're really enjoying it. Okay, so thankfully, I believe we caught it early, and it doesn't seem to be too many pieces that are burned. That one's just a little brown. I don't think it's burned. So we're gonna let it dry out. If I can stop eating it. And I'm wondering if I should do 2 pans to kind of spread out the thinner layer. I think I will. I think that'll be a little easier for it to dry out. dinner, or appetizers for dinner, is done, and I got all of that cleaned up. So now I'm multitasking. I didn't tell y'all what else was going on, but along with trying to get all of my appetizers made for New Year's Eve, we have another family Christmas to go to tomorrow, and I am in charge of sweet potato casserole, and we're doing kind of like a Thanksgiving-y meal. So we're doing turkey and ham and all of that. And I'm gonna try my grandma's turkey dressing that I have her handwritten recipe for. I let my mom help me look it over, and because there were some ingredients that I wasn't sure about, and just the amounts of everything seemed a little excessive. And she said, well, she was probably cooking it for a really large crowd. So we figured out the measurement to reduce it for the number of people we will have tomorrow. So I'm making the turkey dressing, the sweet potato casserole. I'm gonna make some homemade rolls and some tea. And I'm gonna go ahead and start on some of that tonight. So I've got the sweet potatoes that we grew in our garden this summer. I've got them going in the Instant Pot right now cooking. I'm gonna put the sweet potato casserole together tonight. I'm gonna put the dressing together tonight, and I might make the tea. I'm going to first make the cheese ball, and that's the recipe that I'm going to leave you guys with. I won't record making the rest of the food for tomorrow's gathering because you all have already seen how I make homemade rolls, and you've already seen the sweet potato casserole. And the turkey dressing, we're gonna try that out. If it is a success and I can make it even close to the way my grandma used to make it, then we just might bring that out next Thanksgiving. So for the cheese ball, I'm actually taking 2 recipes that I have made before, and I'm combining them, changing a few things, and making my own recipe from those 2. So I went ahead and wrote all of that down, and I will type it out in the description box below for you. But that's where I'm gonna leave you tonight. I'm gonna show you this cheese ball recipe. And I was gonna use the food processor to make it because I need to shred the cheese and everything, but I just decided, you know what, the stand mixer is sitting here. I'll just use the grater and get the cheese grated, and then I'll use the stand mixer. I know that some of you that don't have a stand mixer, you know, I've gotten comments from you saying that, you know, you don't have a stand mixer, and is it okay to mix by hand? Absolutely. There were years, I've only had my stand mixer for a couple of years. So I used to do it by hand. I used to do it with a hand mixer. I've used the food processor. So however you can get the ingredients mixed together, use what you have, right? And I'm just gonna use a stand mixer tonight just because it will save me some time, and it's already out. For this bacon ranch cheese ball, we're first going to need 2 8-ounce blocks of softened cream cheese. I'm just going to get that mixed together. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese. Now I'm using a sharp cheddar cheese. I like the taste of that a little bit better, but you can use whatever your preference is. To this, we're going to add 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, about 1/2 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and then another 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Next, add 1/3 cup of real bacon bits, or you can also use chopped bacon. We're going to add 1/3 cup of sour cream. I'm also going to add 1/2 packet of ranch dressing or ranch dip mix. Now you could also use the kind that's sold in the canister, like the grated Parmesan cheese, and if you do that, then you will need 1.5 tablespoons. Get that all mixed together. And then the last thing I'm going to do, and this is completely optional, but just to kick it up a notch, I'm adding just about a teaspoon of juice from our jalapenos. Now I'm getting the cheese ball mixture onto a piece of wax paper. I find that this works pretty well in forming the ball for the cheese ball, and it also keeps it from sticking to your hands. Next, you're going to need 1 cup of chopped pecans. Now, I'm sure there's many different ways to get the pecans onto the cheese ball, but I'm just going to try to use this method and roll them on the best I can. Now, because I'm not using it tonight, and it also needs to chill in our fridge, so I'm just going to wrap it in the wax paper, and then I'm going to put some plastic wrap over top of that and let it chill in our refrigerator for up to 2 days. Once you're ready to serve it, just add it to a platter, add some crackers, and you'll have yourself a delicious appetizer. All right, well, I've got the cheese ball in the refrigerator. It will chill overnight, and tomorrow maybe I'll bring it out and get some pictures of it and show you. The Chex Mix has almost completely dried out. I've been snacking on it, so has everyone who has walked through the kitchen, and it is delicious. So even though it wasn't my favorite way to fix it, and it did look like it was going to burn a little bit, it turned out perfect. So you might want to try it this way. It will save you a little bit of time to just put everything in your slow cooker. And we will enjoy this on New Year's Eve. If it makes it that far, we'll have our cheese ball on New Year's Eve. And I'm gonna make some other appetizers. But I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you for being here. I hope that each one of you has a very happy new year and a blessed 2023. I'll see you in the next one. So until next time, friends, remember to live simply, use what you have, and enjoy the moments you've been given. Bye for now.